Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to One Hub Racing here for the penultimate round of the P2 Championship as we take in the fantastic circuit Jules Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action as always, and joining alongside me in the commentary box is the one, is the only, it is Omi Combs. Omi, how you doing, my friend?
Hello Michael Edwards, hello everyone, looking forward to getting this one underway. Penultimate round of the season. I think it's going to be a really exciting one.
Yeah, absolutely, the penultimate round of the season, and this is where it gets to the business end and everything gets a little bit spicy. But before we have a look at these standings, let's have a little look at the track in question. Of course, the 4.3 kilometer, 2.7 mile track in length here in Montreal. 35 laps awaiting the drivers, 14 corners, 6 to the left and 8 to the right. 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start finish straight in towards turn number 1, 1 down in towards the chicane of turns 8 and 9, and 1 all the way down to that final chicane of 13-14, infamously known as the Wall of Champions chicane. This will provide a lot of key overtaking opportunities down in towards the chicanes, that is for sure, using the help of DRS, but also around here, Omi, we have to make sure that the drivers stay within the track limits, because this circuit is one of those tracks where track limit warnings are plentiful around Canada.
Absolutely, the Wall of Champions, of course, through the chicane that ends the lap. You can easily invalidate through there, really trying to push the limits, really trying to gain every single time, every single thousandth of a second, especially in qualifying. Could be crucial as well, and then trying to get a good exit in the race. So drivers, we could be seeing a few of them cutting corners, especially at that part of the circuit, and picking up penalties or invalidations for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, looking at the tyre compounds available here tonight, we have the C5 soft tyres, C4 medium, C3 hard compound tyres, and of course the intermediates and the wets, which of course will not be used here tonight. So it's going to be bone dry in Canada, but something that is definitely not bone dry, and that's this championship fight. Let's have a look at the standings right now. Red Matt currently leads the way on 148 points, just 2 points ahead of Axlock, who is in second place after that unfortunate DNF in Azerbaijan last time out. Lukey closing up now, he's on 141, so we got 7 points separating the top 3 with 2 races to go. It is all spicing up, and mathematically everyone inside the top 5 has a chance of taking the championship here.
Yep, absolutely as well. So it's going to be an exciting champion battle coming our way. We cannot crown a champion today due to the sprint race that we have next time out when we go racing in Abu Dhabi. So we can't crown a champion today, but it can go a long way in deciding it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, as mentioned, the top 3 are separated by 7 points. Cam Cainbam currently on 124 points, so he's 24 points off of Red Matt right now. And then of course we got a Ramif on 105, who has a very outside chance, but a race win last time out in Baku definitely would have boosted his confidence a little bit. Waitsy there in 6th place on 87 points, with 86 points for Miami in 7th, and then 85 points for Specialist in 8th, with Lawrence on 82 points in 9th, and Justin on 81 points in 10th, and Brenner on 76 points in 11th place. So only 11 points separating 6th all the way down to 11th. So I mean, even in the midfield there's a lot to fight for. But looking for the rest of the standings, Jordan on 43 points in 12th place, Quinn on 30 points in 13th, and of course we got Funky on 29 points in 14th. Then we got Ali B, obviously Donna as the league, unfortunately. He's on 26 points, same with Ali B, also on 26 points in 16th place. Tristan on 23 points in 17th. Wace on 19 points in 18th place. And of course we got Key in 19th on 18 points, and 15 points for Cam Rules in 20th place. And then the only other driver on the list is Thomas, who has also left the league, unfortunately, and he's on -2 points. But that's how things are looking in the drivers. Let's have a look and see what things are looking like in the constructors standings as we go on over. It is the Haas F1 team with the opportunity, I believe, tonight to seal the Constructors Championships, if my math is correct in thinking that. I do believe they have a chance of sealing the Constructors. So Haas with a great opportunity to wrap things up here tonight as a team. Ferrari in 2nd place. They have a bit of an uphill battle, of course. 272 points for the Haas F1 team, and then 228 points for the Scuderia Ferraris. McLaren in 3rd on 181, with Red Bull Racing in 4th on 176. 124 points for the Mercedes AMG Petronas team in 5th place, and 108 points for the Alfa Romeo in 6th. The Scuderia AlphaTauri is on 102 points in 7th place, and 100 points there for the Alpine F1 team in 8th place. And of course we got the battle at the back between Aston Martin F1 team on 52 points and the Williams Racing F1 team on 45 points. So I mean, the Constructors looks like it could be wrapped up here tonight, but the drivers is definitely where we're going to be keeping all of the eyes on the action, with our top 3 separated by 7 points. And I don't know if you noticed before the race started, obviously we had a stewards report that came in, obviously with Axlock, who was involved in an incident in Baku and was deemed at fault of it, and it was a pretty severe incident, which means that if Axlock finishes the race here tonight, he will be getting a 15-second time penalty applied to his end time in this race. So Axlock, I mean, even though he's second, 2 points off the championship lead, 15 seconds is a hefty time penalty to come in here tonight with.
It definitely is as well. And when you look at this season and you look at how many late safety cars we've had, that's going to bunch the field up and it's basically going to ruin your race. You could be finishing in first, but you're going to end up the last of the runners. So that can definitely really hurt his race today, and definitely will be, because we've not seen such a big margin. We haven't seen any driver extend his gap. We've seen a bit of domination so far by a few drivers in the early stages, but we haven't seen a driver be able to go to those lengths. So we probably won't be expecting to see Axelot here on the top step. He'll have to do something magical, and we'll have to hope that his main rivals do not have a good race, and that we don't get a late safety car, which we have got a lot in the last few races.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, heading into tonight, we did get Red Matt, the championship leader, into the drivers' press conference, and we put the question to him. So, man, you still sit top of the pile after missing the last race, but the gaps are a lot closer. Will you be left to rule the races that you missed, or are you confident you can topple your rivals to win the championship? Red Matt responds saying, I mean, I will rule Australia, if I'm honest. I am surprised to yet still be in the lead of the championship. I don't really know what to expect in these next 2 races, and I know my rivals are going to be trying their best. I will do what I can, but Canada is for sure going to be a race I will just keep clean, as I know how easy it is to get track limits here. I'll see how I feel after today. So Red Matt coming in tonight, keeping it nice and calm with his own predictions of what he's going to be capable of here tonight. And in terms of the rivalries, based on the incident of which we did allude to with Axlock getting the 15-second, and they got put in the rivalries together, Axlock and Lukey, and we are just loading into qualifying right now, so we'll bring you to the action on track in just a moment's time. But the rivalries heading into tonight, Axlock, we put the question to the pair of them, Lukey and Axlock, we put the question to him. It couldn't get much closer at the top of the Drivers' Championship, and it really closed up in the last couple of races. What do you guys have up your sleeves in order to give yourself the best chance of taking the overall W? And Axlock pretty much came through, said, well, Lukey hit me with a 15-second time penalty after I DNF last race, so that he could have some sort of advantage. I personally think it was a bit petty, since he still finished second and he wasn't affected too much. He only lost 3 to 4 places really, as the safety car came out instantly. We had a few instances back in Mexico too, where he hit me and I lost a place, but I didn't want to be I won't say that word, to take away his win for such a small mistake, but I guess that's on me. I'll be using every single advantage that the rules allow. If the stewards say there's no crossing the pit lane lines, I'm reporting every single incident I see. Bare minimum space will be given. So Axlock coming out with fighting words. Lukey's response was, I have nothing up my sleeves, I will try my best, that's all I can do. On pace, I think the top 3 are pretty close on pace, so I don't see there being an advantage there. Axlock does have a 15-second time penalty that is applied to his Canada finishing racing time, so I do have an advantage there. I think it is deserved, as Axlock's mistake in Baku caused himself to DNF and cost me the win. I feel like I would have won that race, as I felt I had the pace over Axlock, who was the closest driver to me. I think me losing only 3 to 4 places isn't looking at the big picture. Losing those positions cost me so much time, having to battle back up the order, and when I did, my tyres were dead, stopping me for fighting with Ramith. I will fight as hard as I can without crossing on the wrong side of that line. I want to fight fair, and I hope Axlock and Red Matt will as well. So coming in tonight, a bit of spice here on me, a bit of spice.
I think Axlock's one is one of the best ones that we've seen as well in the rivalry. It is meant to get the drivers to really get a bit for the driver heated and to see a bit of drama and see all of the behind the scenes stuff as well, of how the drivers are feeling towards each other after incidents like that. But yeah, obviously for Axlock, he'll be definitely very annoyed with himself, of course, as well, because that is a lot lost for Axlock there. It wasn't in the it wasn't the penultimate lap. It wasn't at the end of the race that he needed to take such a risk, and he knows that it was that mistake cost him. And of course, Lukey, he could lose the championship by a few points, and it could be the race at Baku that makes him lose it. So of course he's going to be mad, because once Axlock retires, it was going to be an easy victory for him, but due to the front wing damage, it did really cost him. So of course he's going to be very disappointed and mad. And against your championship rivals, you're going to be trying to get literally every single advantage you can, because it does come down to those close margins.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we head out to the action on track, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors here at Next Level Racing, of course Aztec, as well as Pure Sim Gear, and of course to our partners at Vespa Twin, of course Elite Racing Team ERT, and of course to Sim Grid, who provided us with the fantastic standards of which you've just seen just a moment ago. As we got the first load of laps out there going through right now, Red Matt just crossed the line, and he's put it on provisional pole right now with a 10.1 on me, so a good starting banker for Red Matt ahead of Axel.
Ahead of Axelock, indeed. Still a few drivers in the pit lane, but we have many out there on the circuit pushing on and getting a lap time on the board as well. But very, very exciting to see how close this qualifying session is going to be, as they're all going to now push on and hope that they are able to take pole position. Justin backing out there slightly as well off his lap time, and he's going to be diving into the pit lane, followed in by Quinn. So a few drivers having a few trips back to the pit lane. Tristan, though, has invalidated as well, as he's now going to make his way down towards turn number 1. But already we mentioned the invalidations. They can come in with the drivers pushing very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm currently on board with Ramif right now, coming into the hairpin at turn number 10, and good on the exit there for Ramif as we go through 11 and now through the right-hander at turn number 12. Not really a right-hander, but it is a small, technically class of the corner. But DRS wide open right now for Ramif, all the way down into the final braking zone, into the final chicane as he flies through. Good on the traction on the exit, takes that lovely to the line. Welcome Ramif, and it's going to be P3 for the race winner last time out in Baku.
Awful lot of confidence is Ramit. It will be interesting to see if he's able to continue and carry on that here into this race here today. So Ramit looking good right now, just behind Axelock, but they'll both be aiming to try get onto the back of Redmat.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, right now, Redmat in prime position. Of course, looking at the sector splits, Redmat has the fastest first sector, and the fastest middle sector, and the fastest final sector, which is, of course, interesting, because you rarely see a driver having the fastest sectors throughout the entire lap. Like, usually you have a little bit of a split. One driver maybe has the fastest first sector, and another driver has the fastest second. But it seems that Redmat might just be hooked up with this circuit.
Yep, absolutely as well. He may be hooked up to the circuit already. Redmat possibly a bit of preparation and practice put minutes before this session, as well as the drivers do practice quite a bit to try get used to the circuit, to try be the best they possibly can be as well. And Axelock, he may have been pushing on and may have got blocked slightly there. I'm unsure if he 100% did, but he may have got blocked slightly, so that's why he's coming into the pit lane. Quinn and Justin back out together, and they'll be hoping that this time around they can get a lap time on the board. Redmap, as you mentioned, after that incredible effort to be at the front of the field, he's not wasting any time. He's back out there again.
Yeah, and speaking of Justin, he was in the pre-race interviews as well earlier today. Question number 1 we put out to the drivers. Welcome all to Canada for the penultimate round of this season's championship. How do you rate this track compared to the rest? And Justin, rating the circuit Gilles Villeneuve a solid 7 out of 10, which, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I definitely do think it's a decent one. 7 or 8 out of 10, personally, I would give it as well. Around the F1 games, especially in real life, actually rated a bit higher.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Definitely is a really, really great circuit, is Canada. And I'm sure a lot of drivers do enjoy it in this field. Of course, some drivers, though, may not like it due to curbs or certain reasons like traction of corners. But, of course, everyone has their own little taste on different circuits.
Yeah, absolutely. And one taste at what's called is, of course, Axel, who did put also, he likes this track, but the track does not like him. And that, I think, might be alluding to the time penalties that can be accumulated pretty quick around you. Cam K. Mum said, it's fine. But we see Justin here with an invalidation. Heartbreak for him. He's not going to be improving on his lap time at all. I believe you may have Lukey's response to question number 1 already in the bank.
Yep.
So, do you have red mats as well, or do you want me to grab my red mats?
I'll let you grab red mats, but with Lukey, he mentioned he does like Canada on this game. Traction is a bit low, so as I mentioned, and some curbs just wanting to spin. So exactly what I mentioned just now as well, of possibly some drivers not liking the traction and the curbs, and different factors to why they may not enjoy it. But it is a great circuit, and I'm sure a lot of drivers do enjoy it, and he did mention that it will be difficult in the race for all of them.
Yeah, and Red Matt said, it's alright, track limits, however, dot, 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 dot. So, yep. I mean, everyone already knows going into Canada, you need to be absolutely squeaky clean because those track limits can really come back to bite you. As Red Matt, I think he was down on his time, so he abandoned his lap, came into the pits. As we're on board right now with Axel, needs to find around about 4/10 of a second to try and take provisional pole away. In terms of our lap time of what we're predicting around, yeah, I think definitely we're going to get into the 9s. It's a case of, are we going to be in the high 9s or can anyone maybe squeak into the mid 9s?
Let's see. So, Axel up by just over 200 of a second in the first sector. He'll need to try upgrade that, improve even further, because as you can see, it is quite a big margin ahead as they still all push on. Over 3/10 between Redmat and Axelok, so nearly 3.5 tenths between those two drivers. And Axelok up by 400ths now, so he's still not finding the time that he needs to be able to get to be able to really put some pressure on Redmat. He's getting close and close, but it's not a lap time right now that is going to be good enough to beat him, unless it's the third sector that he really messed up on last time, and he's going to be able to better that this time. Let's see then, as he makes his way through now the wall of champions, fighting the car all the way through, and we'll see as he comes over the line. Will the Red Bull driver Axelok over the line find an improvement by nearly 2/10 of a second, so improved a bit in the last sector. That's got him closer, but still has more time to find if he wants to beat the Haas driver at the front of the field. And the other Haas in this field right now is also about to start a push lap of Cam Kimon.
Yeah, in fact, we'll go on board with Cam Kimon, and I'm going to allow you to do a full lap run through with Cam K around this incredible Canadian circuit. So I'll pass over to you, and we will see what Cam K can do.
Yep, let's see what Cam Kimon can do on this lap time then, as he makes his way down towards turn number 1, gets the braking point sorted now through 2 and 3. Of course, we see the pit lane exit right through there as well, and sometimes the line converges into 1, and now he's making his way through the next few sequences of corners in sector 1. So we'll see what this first sector time is looking like for him. It's a 19.887, and now it's going to be foot to the floor all the way down towards turn number 8. DRS zone, of course. Drivers can make overtakes here, but there's really no point when you have a long straight coming up, as he'll now throw the car into turn 8, hoping to get good traction of the corner. Don't run too wide, don't invalidate. And he was fighting the car, though, all the way through. Now down into the hairpin. Such a crucial corner this is, and especially the exit. A 42.3 there in the second sector, combining it with the first. And now he's about to push on down the back straight. The big opportunity to make an overtake here in the race. You get one detection zone, so you can also, if you make the move here, then you can use it to pull away in the race. But now into the final chicane, he keeps it inside track limits, keeps it out of the wall, and now let's see what lap time can the Haas driver do. Haas trying to wrap up the Constructors' Championship today, and over the line comes Cam Kimon. It's good enough for third. It's 1 minute 10.594.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously you referenced about the Constructors' Championships. I just had a quick little math calculation. 82 points, I believe, is the maximum that you can take out of the remaining races, including this one that we're currently at. And of course, looking at the gap in the constructors is 44 points, and that's going to be telling, because right now, if both of the Haas's get a big result here, because remember, I mean, in terms of the Ferraris, you need both Waitsy and Luki up there, essentially trying to take a 1-2 finish, and we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. Waitsy's currently on a lap, so we'll go on board with him. In terms of everyone else outside of the top 2, I mean, McLaren, Red Bull, they're out of it. They're out of it, but they can play spoiler to this and limiting the points of what the other teams can do, especially with the likes of Axelok and Ramif here tonight. But yeah, 82 points, I believe, is the maximum that can be obtained over the final remaining races, including the sprint race points as well. And we're going to see if Haas are going to seal the championship here tonight. I believe if they potentially get a, I mean, if they get a 1-2 finish, obviously that's 38 points off the 82 points available. If they can somehow like hold enough of a gap and Ferrari don't close into them, Potentially, I mean, it's job done then.
Definitely could be as well. Justin was just able to find the lap time to go into P5, and if you look at the margins, very close from third all the way down to seventh. All of them just with a little bit of time gain can get them up the order quite a few places as well. We have 14 drivers in total today. You have 13 participating in this qualifying session, with Funky with his engine penalty sitting this one out. So he'll be going for the back, trying to make up some positions. We only have under 4 minutes to go in the session, and we still have 2 drivers to push on. So we still have to see drivers try better their time, try push on as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. Lukey, though, is the driver pushing on right now. And let's see if he's going to be able to now get ahead of Axelot. There's going to surely be feisty stuff between the two of them here today. Axelot will still be mad, will still not be happy. So it's going to be interesting to see. And talking about Axelot, he's out now on the circuit, as many drivers will be coming out now as we get ready for the final run in this qualifying session. Lukey, though, let's see where he's going to be able to get on the board compared to everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucky coming out the hairpin right now, good on the traction, and needs to make sure that he keeps it valid now coming through the final chicane. He's yet to get a lap time on the board. Obviously, Funky, the only man who is serving an engine penalty here tonight, which is the reason why he has retired here in qualifying. But Lucky now to the line, all valid, and he goes on a provisional pole. So it is a 10.0 there for Lukey, exactly what he needs in this championship fight. And again, the top 3 in the championship are the top 3 in qualifying. And honestly, I'm going to say it again, the top 5 in the championship are the top 5 here in qualifying, as well as Axoc is about to get his lap underway. We got just over 2 minutes remaining in the session. Of course, a 1 minute 10 lap time, so there's plenty of time to go on a cool down lap and get back out. I don't think Lukey will have enough time to get into the pits, put on a fresh set of boots and get back out, so he's going to have to save up his ERS to maybe push again on the following lap, which might potentially cost him at the end of the session. But Lukey has a lap time on the board, and that is all that matters for the Scuderia Ferrari now.
Yep, surely it'll still be a good result for him as well when everyone else has set the time. But Axelot is up by over a tenth of a second. He's now going to try and put some pressure on Lukey, also finding time possibly in the second and third sector. But that's only the first sector that Axelot is up in right now. We'll see the second and third sector very, very shortly. But Axelot, of course, the track is better. That's why you may have also seen Lukey's improvement. But now Axelot gets to trial it out and see what the circuit is like for him. And he's almost up by 0.3 of a second. So he's going to try and put some pressure now on his championship rival. And he was fighting the car all the way on the exit, though. Let's hope that hasn't cost him too much time for his sake. And let's see if this lap is going to be able to get him ahead of Lukey as he now makes his way down towards the final chicane. You got to keep it through. You got to keep it inside track limits. You've done all of the hard work, but it all can go wrong here.
And he's managed to keep it within the track limits as Axoff now to the line. Is he going to be into the nines? No, he misses out, and also he misses out on pole position just by, 18 thousandths of a second. That's how much he's missed out by, 18 thousandths of a second. We got Red Matt now just beginning his lap. He's warming up his tyres, getting ready to go. And we're going to see if the championship leader can take pole position here around Montreal, coming through the final chicane. And you'll need to hope that any slower cars up ahead will be well alert and getting out of his way. But now running down in towards turn number 1 with Red Matt. Does not run over the curb on the inside through turn number 1. And keeps it nice and tight through turn number 2. Good traction on the exit. Now into the chicane of 3 and 4 as we go through now. Right under turn number 5 into the chicane of 6 and 7, and we're going to see if he's going to be getting a good launch here with DRS running down in towards the braking of turn number 8 and 9. The next braking zone for Red Matt here, throws the car through turn number 8, opens it up through turn number 9. The checker flag is out in the session as Anxlock's into the pits, Lukey's into the pits. This session's over and done with. Red Matt marginally up as we go through the hairpin at turn number 10. And Red Matt, a deep line, but he will gain a bit of back on the traction on the exit. And that is the one thing with that hairpin. You can take different lines and they do affect what you're able to do down this back straight quite dramatically. But now heading into the final chicane of 13 and 14, the infamous Wall of Champions. And Red Matt really pushing the boat out through there. I don't know if we're going to see an improvement from him. We are going to see an improvement, but it's not enough to get him onto the front row. So Lukey, right now, in position to potentially take this championship lead here, because of course he's going to be starting from the front. Axlock, I think it's going to be elbows out with Red Mat, and after the incident that we had last week, Ramif up into P3 at the end. Ramif knocking Red Mat down into P4, and Ramif, the man who has the most outside chance of this championship, putting his name in the hat, going to cause a few problems for these guys, that is for sure. And with that, qualifying has come to an end. But we're going to run you through the order one more time. It is Lukey who took pole position with a 110.027, 18 thousandths ahead of Axlock, who joins him on the front row. Then we've got Ramif in P3 with Red Mat in P4. Less than 0.08 of a second separating those four drivers right there. Incredibly close. As Wasey's in P5 with Tristan in P6. Cam K Mum in P7 with Justin in P8. Waste in P9 with Specialist rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we had Brenna in 11th. Quinn in 12th. Lawrence, who was unable to get a lap time there, in 13th. And of course we had Funky surfing his engine penalty down there. Going to be starting from the back of the field. But my, oh my, Omi, we're going to be treated to a spectacle of a race, that is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely as well. We are going to be treated to one incredible race. What an amazing battle this is going to be. There was quite a few drivers that are not happy. Red Mat obviously not happy with his lap. Justin not happy with his lap. Quinn not liking the circuit either as well. And Lukey saying that he messed up his timing. So we're going to be in for one amazing race coming our way. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Elbows out to the front of the field. Drivers trying to make their way through. More drivers involved in the scrap. So the championship rivals possibly hurting each other's races as well, are battling so hard and allowing other drivers to go through. So drivers who have nothing to lose, they can definitely try go all in, and then also know that possibly the drivers ahead also have to think about the championship. So definitely is going to be interesting to see how that all goes. You do have the midfield pack, but if you are at the front of the championship, you do need to be a little bit more careful than some of the other drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, one more thing that these drivers are going to have to keep an eye on as well is the honestly, it's just the rivalry as well between them. Because obviously we saw in terms of the rivalries meeting with, of course, Lukey and Axlock. Obviously, they're going to be starting on the front row together. That could be drama down in towards turn number 1. And we have seen drama not only in terms of league racing, but we have seen drama in real life down in towards turn number 1 as well. Where I believe it was an early 2000s race. I can't remember what exactly year it was, but there was a big collection of cars that collided with each other through turn number 1, and it wasn't ideal for any of them. The race had to be red flagged and restarted. But I mean, hopefully everyone keeps it nice and clean at turn 1. But we did see with the rivalries chat that Axlock, minimum space is going to be given now to his rivals.
Cannot wait for this one.
And the fact is, Lukey on the front row of him as well, the person who he had the incident with last week in Baku. This is going to get very, very spicy. Of course, Red Mat there going to be starting from P4. He is the championship leader coming in tonight. We got Ramif splitting the pack, but in fact, we're going to head to the action on track right now because we're going to those 5 red lights. As it is lights out and we are underway here in Canada, and it looks like a good start there for Ramif. Axlock gets a pole start, but he's going to try and hold on to P2. Red Mat around the outside of Ramif through turn number 1. Has the inside now for turn number 2. It's going to be all about traction on the exit. It looks like Ramif, though, does have the superior traction as Camke gets through on Tristan. Important in the constructors. That is for sure. And Tristan's going to, unfortunately, lose out there to Camke Mum. And Wace getting through on Tristan as well. That just shows the poor run that Tristan did have as he goes slightly off track. Needs to be careful about rejoining. Remember a few years ago where we saw Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton almost come into contact with each other. The infamous race where Sebastian Vettel took the P1 from in front of Lewis's car and put it in front of the space where his car would have been. Looking at the tyre compounds that everyone has opted for. Remember, mandatory 2-stop here in One Hub Racing, and majority of the grid going for a set of the soft tyres. Only 4 drivers going for a set of the mediums. That's Justin, Specialist, Tristan and Funky, as we're seeing Redmat and Ramif battling out now for P3 as they're side by side heading them down into the final chicane for the first time in this race.
Yeah, Ramit having to get out of that one, allowing Redmat to go through, but he's going to now fight back with better traction possibly, but he's going to decide to sit behind right now. So the top 7 on the soft compound tyres. You get Justin, Specialist, Tristan and Funky who are on the mediums, everyone else on the softs, Quinn and Lawrence and Bear also on the soft compound tyres as well. But a very exciting start to the race, and Lukey already has a 7-10 gap, but Axelot will definitely be trying to stick with him, especially when the DRS does open. This is going to be a really tight and exciting race, but other than that, a very calm start to the race with a few though interesting battles going on, especially for third.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in terms of the championship fight, I mean, what we got right now, I see Axok, Lukey and Redmat. They're the top 3 right now, but they are in reverse order to the championship positions. Obviously, Redmat leading the way with Axok in second and Lukey in third. But right now, I mean, if you're Redmat, are you trying to dump that ERS to make sure you get ahead of Axog now on this lap, or are you going to be patient and wait in behind? That's going to be the question. So obviously, DRS is going to be activated now in this following lap, and obviously Luki seems to have the superior pace around here. He's not really using too much of his battery, whereas Axog has already used half of his already. And Redmat there with a new fastest lap, showing he's been using a bit of battery himself. But if you're Redmat, do you use your battery now to try and get through on Axog before that back straight with Luki and DRS?
Definitely could be the case as well, but we're going to have to find out. DRS is open. Axelok needs to try and remain close. He's had to use a bit of ERS to try and remain close. So Luki already trying to get away, and he actually has quite a bit of ERS, using now a little bit to just try get outside that 1 second is Lukey. But it seems like Redmat is the one who's right now on the attack, and Axelok possibly struggling. And Lukey trying to pull the 1 second gap, and he's got the 1 second gap right now.
Yeah, I was on board with Redman's view of Axok there going through the turn 8, turn 9 chicane. Axok just went a little bit deep on the on turn 8, and that compromised him through turn number 9, and he lost out on DRS, and that's going to allow Redman to just breeze through with DRS. Ramif's going to have an opportunity down towards turn number 1, that is for sure, because remember, 1 detection point for both of these DRS zones, as now here comes Ramif. So Axok goes on P2 down to P4, and Ramif through up into P3, and that is heartbreak for Axok in his championship post, because now he's got Ramif ahead of him. He's got that 15-second time penalty to think about as well, and it's just not been the best of start for the Red Bull.
Yep, absolutely, indeed, not been the start that the Red Bull driver would have won for Red Bull at all. Axelok dropping positions. Quinn, the only driver with a penalty so far in this race, but that is so unfortunate for Axelok, who isn't being able to remain close to Ramit. So he's got a 15-second penalty. At this rate though, he doesn't even look to have too much pace right now. Waits, he's looking close and looking to now attack Axelok, who's just trying to stay inside the 1 second, so it's not looking good for Axelok right now. Absolutely
not, and I'm having a quick little look to see if there's any damage on Axelok's car on the task system. It doesn't appear to be thus far, but looking at the tyre wear, that rear left tyre and the rear right actually, so much more worn than the rest of the field. So Axelok's setup not particularly helpful on the rear tyres, and you can really tell with Axelok dropping away from the top 3 now.
Yeah, Specialist and Justin making it 3 wide with Waze, and they were fighting their way to. Here comes Quinn, and Lawrence is going to have to back out of it. Now he's going to find a gap to the inside, and Lawrence is going to dive to the inside. Waze is going to keep his foot in. That's going to get super close, but Lawrence is going to try use the traction on the outside and get through, but there's more contact as Barrow picks up a 3-second penalty, and Waze into the side of Lawrence. Now he's behind though and has lost time.
Yeah, absolutely. Waste losing it on traction there on the exit of turn 2. Not ideal for him. Axelok has lost out on DRS on the top 3. Heartbreak for the Red Bull. In terms of what I'm seeing right now, obviously it does appear that there might be a little bit of damage on Lukey's car. I'm not sure if you're seeing this, but I'm looking at the task system. I think there may be a little bit of damage on his car right now.
There could be. I mean, he's all under pressure now by Redmat and Ramith when it was looking good for him. So I think he definitely could be, and we could be about to see a bit more battling as well. Ramith doing very well to maintain the gap. Axelock is going to have the attention of Waitsy. He's going to go to the outside.
Yeah, Waitsy just going to breeze through into P4, and I think Axelock, Lukey immediately into the pits, and I think, yeah, damage might have been on that car. Let's see if there's a front wing change for the Scuderia. It is going to be a front wing change for the Scuderia Ferrari. He's going to drop down the order. Heartbreak for Lukey in this race.
Axelock's off the road.
Oh, Axelock has had a moment. Axelock has dropped down now to P5 in this race. He definitely is struggling with pace around you, and that is evident by the fact that he just does not have the pace of Redmat, Ramith and Lukey, and of course was under pressure from both Waitsy and Camke in behind. Now though, he has Justin and Specialist closing in as Ramith now takes the race lead, gets DRS and moves ahead of Redmat up into the race lead. Now goes to McLaren.
Ramith absolutely loving life right now. But yeah, Axelock appeared to only cut onto it when he was using the runoff, but he had to of course brake so he didn't get a penalty by the game for cutting the corner. So he had to slow down there on the runoff. But to end up there, he would have run wide or had a bit of contact trying to come back at turn number 1. And he's going to be a driver who definitely will be frustrated. So if he did maybe be a bit late, if he was a bit too late on the brakes into turn number 1, and went wide, then wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. And Redmat, out of the last corner, really struggling there, losing plenty of time, and Axelock's into the pit lane, so he follows his championship rival in. He's helped a little bit though, and Redmat's going to be enjoying it right now in second position, but he's almost losing the gap to Ramith. But Axelock in, and he's continuing on. No front wing change for him, so maybe the tyres weren't just working for Axelock, but he's been helped a little bit by at least Lukey also getting a bit of front wing down, but Lukey is going to be ahead.
I mean, you say that it's going to be close on the exit of the pit lane right here, as Axelock is going to come out just behind Lukey. The one thing I will say though, with regards to Axelock's tyre wear, I mean, he definitely seems to have a setup right now that is eating his rear tyres in comparison to the rest of the field, which is not ideal, because once the rear tyres go, that's when you start to lose out on traction, and traction is key around Canada. That is for sure. Lap number 7 of 35. Ramith leads 1.7 seconds is the gap. So the McLaren now really starting to stretch his legs up ahead as Waitsy is doing his best to close in on Redmat. Remember, Ferrari versus Haas in the Constructors. And there we go. Into the pits comes Redmat and Waitsy. Waitsy with a 5-second speeding into the pit lane. A penalty. Not ideal for the Ferrari. It has all gone wrong for the Scuderias in the space of just 3 laps here, Omi.
Yeah, a lot of teams having bad races. Waves picking up a 5-second penalty as well then. So it seems like all is happening in this race right now in terms of drama. Not what Waitsy wanted at all in this race then, as now they're going to come out onto the circuit, and they will of course be ahead of Lukey, who has to change his front wing, and of course ahead of Axelock, who's behind, but Waze, I should say, is going to be behind the drivers with a little bit of a gap as well.
Yeah, speaking of a little gap, I mean, we got Specialist all over the back of Justin, as we got Lawrence over the back of Quinn as well. Specialist, we'll stay on board with Specialist for the time being, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get this move done down into the final chicane. Should be relatively easy for him. Remember, he started on the medium compound tyres, so he will have that the luxury of deciding whether or not he'll go on to the set of the soft compound tyres at the end of this race, as I believe he may do so. Guys, in the chat right now, I want to get your predictions. Who will be the championship leader come the end of this race? Will it be Redmat? Will Lukey take the championship lead? Or will, by some miracle, with our 15-second time penalty, will Axelock somehow come out on top? That is the questions I'm going to put to you in chat right now. Let me know who you think is going to be taking the championship lead. Of course, if Axelock, if Redmat does get a podium, I mean, I think that mathematically takes both Ramith and Camke out of the championship hunt altogether, if I remember correctly from the graphic of which we saw earlier on. But yeah, I mean, right now, cool, calm, collected from Specialist, not really forcing a move on Justin, but Ramif now, 8.7 second lead. And when he does come into the pits, he'll have the fresher tyres. He might come out still ahead of Luki and Axlock. And Axlock appears on the mediums to be a bit more competitive than what he was on the softs, because he's sticking with Luki here.
He is indeed, but of course later on in the race we'll let you know with that, because we've got the possibilities for every single position, so we'll see where the drivers are in, but we're just waiting currently for the pit stop phase to get a better idea and a better understanding of it all. And Axelock has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which will add on to his 15-second penalty, so he currently has an 18-second penalty in a race where already one of those bad races, one of the worst races I think he's had all season. Of course, maybe Baku will be worse than some of the others that he had incidents in, but he had the pace there at least. Here, it just seems like he's not, but he is managing to get onto the back of his rival, and he's going to try for the move.
Squeezed in down the inside there on Luki through turn 5. And remember, after what happened last week, this could be a spicy one between these two as Waity gets through on Funky up in the P6. Of course, Ramov did come into the pits. Kamke coming through on Luki, and a little bit of contact I think there between the pair of them. Does Luki perhaps have more damage to his car? Cause, we're going to have a little look. Yeah, Luki does have more damage to his car.
Yeah, absolutely. He did hit the wall slightly, which gave Axelock the run actually as well there, as we see at the front of the field specialists take back the current race lead on the circuit, but still yet to make pit stop. But yeah, absolutely, there was contact there for Luki, and now he's not having a good race at all. Axelock trying to recover in this one, but we know at the end of stints it can go a little bit wrong for him as Redmat makes the move on Tristan. But yeah, we know near the end of the stint it could go a little bit wrong for Axelock, as maybe his setup is eating up the tyres a bit too much, as Ramit is also going to move up. So it's going to be Redmat versus Ramit right now at the front of the field, and Luki going onto the side of the hard compound off tyres. You have Axelock, who is going to try and close in on Waitsy, who could possibly try also hold up Axelock to try help his teammate if they needed to, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference anyway, because he's got an 18-second time penalty if they remember.
Yeah, 18 seconds going to be applied to Axelock's race time. Of course, the 3 seconds will automatically be added at the end of this race, but the further 15 seconds will definitely not help the Red Bull, that is for sure. I mean, right now, the Drivers' Championship is squarely in the hands of Redmat. Luki appears to have the pace, but we've seen damage on his car twice, maybe showing he has the pace, but it's high risk, high reward for him. Whereas Redmat's pace appears to be all cool, calm, and within his own hands right now. Even though Ramif is putting him under serious pressure, I mean, Redmat just looks in control of this right now.
Yeah, Luki making a few errors there, of course, and hitting the barrier. So maybe not the most confident around this circuit as well. So Redmat definitely does seem in a good position to have Axelock down there, struggling a bit with his tyres, but he's trying to also recover in this race. And even if he can now get up to grips, he's still already lost quite a lot of time, has Axelock. Luki, of course, will be hoping for a safety car, late safety car in this one, that could help him going on the soft and trying to make up some overtakes. But yeah, Axelock will be happy that Luki at least is having a bad race, but it's Redmat that he also needs to have a bad race.
Oh,
Quinn is out of the race.
Safety
and
car.
it's the safety car.
Lap 12 of 35. The safety car has been deployed. Luki right now has just been saved in this race. And what I was going to say is, maybe not at the end of the race Luki would have wanted a safety car. I think at this point is where he would have wanted it. Just so he can kind of get himself in a position where he can start making overtakes. Luki has the pace to come through this field. But it's a one thing to do it when you're a pit stop behind on aging hard tyres at the end of the race against everyone on fresher tyres. But now with the safety car out, Luki's going to be able to come into the pits, put on a set of mediums if he wants, and then try and come through the field. It looks like both Waitsy and Redmat stay out. Ramif into the pits, fresh set of mediums for him, and hard tyres there for Axelock and Lawrence as well, as we should be seeing multiple drivers coming into the pits. We'll see if Luki does come in. He does come in, and Waitsy, I mean, he's in P2 right now. to be honest, I think if I was Waitsy, I would have come into the pits to give it that 5 second.
Absolutely, as well then. But a few drivers this has really helped is Tristan, Justin, Specialist. They hadn't made their first pit stop, so this has definitely helped them. But at the same time, of course, other drivers have been able to now make a second pit stop, so then they'll need another safety car later on in the race as well to try and help them with that. So we're gonna have a few more drivers to still make a pit stop in this one. A few drivers, if they want to, can go to the end as well, but safety cars can come out very, very quickly, like we just found out. So it definitely could mean that we could get an interruption later on. But now Lukey is going to try and make his way up a few positions and try and get back in this race. But he'll need to try and do it, hopefully without contact, as he's struggling by himself. But now he's also going to have other cars to try and pass as well.
Yeah, look, he just needs to keep it out of the wall. He has the pace. That's one thing I will say. He does have the pace to come through. Obviously, he needs to hope that he can maybe... see, like, have smart overtakes on some of these guys ahead of him. Because obviously, I mean, Wace and Funky, I mean, Lukey shouldn't be behind these two on pace. But, I mean, for Funky and Wace, like, they don't really get to see much of Lukey in the race. So they might be thinking, do you know what, I fancy a bit of a battle here. And they have every right to battle. And they're battling for position. And that is going to be crucial for Lukey trying to carve his way through the field. If these guys that he doesn't normally battle with, if they fancy a bit of a battle, which they definitely can do, it's going to be interesting to see if Lukey's going to be able to get through that without any more damage on his car.
Yep, absolutely. It is going to be interesting to see with a lovely task system, even if it's little, we'll be able to tell if he's got any damage, and even a little can really affect the drivers as we've already seen. Because with a few drivers, they've hit the wall, and even though we can't see it, not any visual damage, but there is some little damage, and it has been impacting drivers, meaning that they're all over the road, and some of them already all over the road, so it definitely doesn't really help their case at all then. But the whole field about to be bunched up. Berra's got onto the back, and that is going to allow us to go racing once again with Red Matt, Waitsy and Cam Kimum. The top three electing not to pit. The pressure will be coming from the drivers behind us. The safety car is going to peel into the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. As we await to see when Red Matt's going to go. We're on board with Waitsy right now, who needs to be absolutely on it on this restart. And it looks like Red Matt has caught him a little bit napping there on the restart. But it looks like Waitsy has caught Camke napping as well. And this is going to be interesting as well. What kind of role Camke is going to play in this race? Is he going to try and back up the rest of the field to give Red Matt the better opportunity late in this race? I mean, I think potentially that could be a thing. Obviously, in terms of Waitsy, his job is try to get ahead and back up Red Matt into this pack.
Axelot and Tristan going for it at turn one and nearly making contact and nearly sending Axelot spinning round, but they continue on, but have a 1.7 second gap ahead. And that's what Axelot has to be careful about. He doesn't now want to have contact and spin out there as he's trying to make up some places. All of the field though still with a few gaps between them. Lukey's going to be trying to make some moves as well then, but all of these drivers from 7th downwards currently stuck behind Tristan, 80 downwards. But Tristan currently is holding that P7 spot, so let's see how quickly Axelot can get through, and Lukey going around the outside trying to get past Waze.
Yep, so here comes Lukey around the outside at the hairpin. Superior traction on the better compound tyre right now. Lukey through up in the P11, starting to make his moves, and that is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to be smart about this and get his way up the order swift and efficiently. Cam K has lost touch on Waitsy, and Waitsy's lost touch on Red Matt, just showing Red Matt's pace. But now we got Specialists on those fresh medium compound tyres, starting to put the Haas under pressure here for that final podium position.
Yep, absolutely starting to apply some pressure indeed then. Lap 16 out of 35 of this race so far. And Lawrence picking up a 3-second penalty. Funky picking up 3-second penalty. So penalties really starting to come in for the drivers now. And Lukey up to P11. Let's see how quickly he can now try also get through on Funky and Lawrence, who are ahead. Axelot still stuck in the wheel tracks of Tristan, but Tristan luckily keeping the gap the exact same to the cars ahead. So they're not being able to make too many. They're not really losing time currently, Axelot, but he doesn't want the Aston Martin ahead because he wants to. He doesn't just want to sit behind everyone. He wants to actually be making moves and trying to get close as possible to the front of the field.
Yeah, so just on board with Lukey there. He was closing out to the back, but had a bit of a wobble coming through the hairpin, and that's definitely cost him a decent amount of time. And let's just put him a little bit on the back foot now, coming down the back straight as we're about to begin lap 17. As Red Mat now. Yep, Axlock through, going up into P7 around the outside of Tristan through turn number 1. And big snap there for Axlock. Tristan unable to take advantage of that, however. So he has to sit in behind the Red Bull. And honestly, Axlock there getting away with one around the circuit where it's so difficult to keep the mind focused, especially when you start making small little errors like that.
Yep, absolutely as well. Unsure if it was a little snap himself or maybe a little tap. There was contact after, though, between the two of them. They got very, very close to get a little tap, and Tristan still remaining close. So let's see if he's going to be able to come back down the straight. Lukey's trying to get past Funky, and he's going to have it with the inside line. So he'll be able to move up to 10th position. Will Lukey, and Funky will not choose to fight that under braking there. So we have Lukey up to P10 right now. He can fight it though if he wants to on the straight, but Lukey's just going to now try and get away. Lawrence is going to be the next car to try and pass Tristan, and they're all trying to break the slipstream down as we go down to the chicane right now.
Yeah, looking on the back of Axlock's rear wing here, as we see Tristan was closed in with DRS but wasn't close enough to make a move, so he's going to sit in behind the Red Bull for another lap as Lukey's getting on the back of Lawrence. And Lawrence is on this day, Lawrence is a guy that can get some podiums here in P2. And in terms of drivers to overtake, Lawrence is not an easy driver to overtake for Lukey here.
Yep, absolutely. Lawrence definitely a great driver, of course, challenging in the sprint race and losing and losing the victory in the sprint race by literally 1,000th of a second. It was a drag race run, absolutely phenomenal stuff. It was between those two drivers in that sprint race, but the gap's really, really close together. And Ramit is going for it on Justin. They were also close together. Ramit's trying to make an opportunistic move. Justin, though, trying to come back now, fight back with the better traction. He holds P5.
Yeah, and now Ramit back into the slipstream as we're seeing Kamke overtake Waitsy up ahead as it looks like Specialist actually going to try and follow him through. And this is where the fresher medium tyres are starting to come into play, because you're seeing Specialist now making these overtakes. Kamke, he's on 10 lap old medium, so he's not on the best of tyres himself. Ramith, though, missed an opportunity to get through on Justin. He's going to stick his nose in down the inside as Justin's trying to look around the outside of Waitsy here. And oh my god, this is going to be absolute wheel-to-wheel stuff between the pair of them. And we could get Ramith looking around the outside. And that was Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton-esque coming through that chicane there. As Ramith there almost into the wall, having to back out of it. My god, I almost got flashbacks to the Seb Vettel and Hamilton incident a few years back.
Yeah, absolutely. We did get close to but initially I thought it was going to be between a Mercedes and Ferrari. But no. It did include one of them though, and Axelrod now is going to try and pull the move on Justin late on the brakes. He can afford to dive to the inside because he's going to get DRS anyway, so because of the gap to Waitsy, but Justin's going to hold on there, so you'll have to now use a bit of ERS. There's a lot of ERS being used for Axelrod, but he knows he's got to try and make this move. Up ahead, we're also going to see a move by Specialist who moves up to P2, and Redman loving life right now. He's just pulling away as they all continue squabbling behind, and Lukey trying to get past Tristan. Really have to get out of it there.
Yeah, here goes Justin down the inside of Waitsy, and Waitsy on those old tyres. He's going to struggle to fight back here. That might open the door now for Axlock to get through. They're going to be wheel to wheel on the exit as we're looking from the rear wing of Justin here, coming into the chicane, and it looks like Axlock is going to get that move done. Axlock making swift progress now up the field, and all that battling, I mean, what it's done is actually allowed Axlock to get involved in this, and obviously it's brought Lukey into play as well, so now everyone is quite close together, and it gives opportunities now for Lukey and Axlock to really try and get their way through the field, as Justin is really putting the pressure on Kamke here for that final podium position. Specialist has gone, he's 1.5 up the road, as Ramif looks to get through on Waity down the inside into the hairpin as
Tristan.
oh, and here comes Lukey. Lukey there on the exit, and he might have a bit of a run here on Tristan. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's actually going to be able to pull it off, because Tristan does have the DRS as well on Ramif up ahead, but Lukey needs a good run at the final chicane, gets a good run at the final chicane. He's on his ERS, he's going to move to the inside for turn number 1. Lukey now up in the P7, next car up the road is Ramif.
So Lukey able to get past Tristan, but Tristan was so late on the brakes into the hairpin. They went 3 wide momentarily as well, as they were all battling, but this is getting so close between all of these drivers right now, and there's so much battling right now between all of them, and Red Mat has been chased now by Specialist, because of course Specialist and Justin and all of those drivers have been released. They were being held up by drivers like Kamkimum and Waitsy, but now the road is clear, and that means a Specialist about to attack and take the lead away from Red Mat, and off the road as well goes Justin, and that's going to leave an opportunity for Axelok to try now make a move, as Ramit is also getting past Kamkimum.
Yep, Ramit getting moved done on Kamkimum there, and we'll sail around the outside as Justin and Axelok making small bits of contact up ahead, and these two battling out absolutely tooth and nail for that final podium position. As here comes Axelok, he's going to go through with DRS, but that's allowed Ramif now all over the back of these guys, as Red Mat is into the pits. Lukey with a 3-second time penalty. That could be costly coming the end of the race, but he's going to look for the move on Kamkimum down the inside in towards turn number 1. It is Lukey now up in the P5, and now he can start putting some pressure on Axelok, Justin and Ramif here.
Absolutely, he definitely can indeed then. Lap 22 out of 35 in this race, and what an incredible race it has been. Plenty of battling, plenty of action, and we still have plenty more coming our way as well. Tristan currently in 7th, about to be put under a bit of pressure by Lawrence. Has Kamkimum ahead, who he's also going to try and attack, so he's attacking and defending both at once right now. And Lukey up to P5 he goes. He has Ramit ahead, then it's Justin of course in there, and Axelok now the leader of this train. So
Tristan, that's the lead, and Ghost, thank God for the ghosting system right there, as Tristan ghosted through Kamke. That was definitely going to be contact between the pair of them if the ghosting system did not happen. That's allowed Lawrence to get through though. Lawrence now up in the P7, so guessing a bit of desync there as Justin's down the inside into the final chicane on Axelok. Axelok has to jump over the sausage curbs, and he's going to lose out to Ramif, and potentially no, Lukey's going to stay in behind as Ramif now into P2, exactly where he wants. He wants to get up the order as best as possible. We're on lap 23 of 35. Looking at the tyre wear for some of these guys, as Axelok gets back through on Justin. I think Justin might have just let him back through the sportsmanship. What we are looking at right now, obviously Red Mat has made the 2nd pit stop. He is down in P12. Obviously all these guys at the front have made 2 pit stops, apart from Justin and Specialist, who both need to make a pit stop at some point. And that is Vera out of the race, safety car. And that is perfect if you are a Specialist, Ramif, Axelok, Justin and Lukey, because you're going to be able to get a free pit stop here. Red Mat right now is absolutely seething with this pit stop. The safety car coming out right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Waitsy
was speeding under the safety car, and he won't be able to serve that till we go back to green flag racing, so that's unfortunate for Waitsy. But wow, this race taking another push. We expected maybe a late one, and we could get one even later on, possibly, but this is going to completely change up the race once again, and is going to give us an absolutely grandstand finish from now till the end, and Specialist picking up a 5-second penalty as well.
Yep, as we should see everyone in the front now coming into the pits, putting on a fresh set of tyres. Now, obviously, lap 23 of 35. I don't think the safety car will be out as long as most safety cars usually are out for. What would you go for, a fresh set of mediums or a fresh set of soft shoe?
Well, you could go for the soft and just try absolutely pull away and let everyone else battle. Pull a 4-5 second gap. Then that could maybe save you, but then at the same time, if you're not able to do that, mediums could come alive later on. So it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a really incredible mix that we're going to get in this race. So it's going to be absolutely phenomenal to see how it goes. We've got drivers on also different tyre lives as well. So it's all going to happen.
Okay, well, obviously a quick reminder of how things are looking right now. Specialist has made both of his pit stops. He's leading the race. He's on fresh soft compound tyres. Redmat in second place, the championship leader. Currently 2 pit stops made for him. He's on 2 lap old mediums. Ramith has put on the mediums that he had on before the first safety car came out, which of course aren't that worn. Of course, they are 3 lap old. Axlock has put on a fresh set of mediums. He's been in the pits 3 times in this race. Same with Ramith for that matter. Justin has made 2 pit stops. He's put on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. And of course, interestingly enough as well, for Justin and Specialist, they had no choice but to put on the softs. They've only raced on medium tyres so far in this race. Same with Tristan as well. And obviously Funky down in 11th place. So they had no other alternative but to go to the soft tyres. And that's why those 4 drivers are on the set of the softs. It might not be ideal for them, but that is why they are on the soft tyres. Lukey on 5 lap old mediums. And I think, no, he's back into the pits again. Lukey's into the pits again, as is Specialist here. And this is going to be interesting. What is Lukey thinking? Fresh set of soft tyres. Soft tyres going on Lukey's car. Soft tyres going on Specialist's car. Of course, Specialist serving that 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. Interesting call here. Lap 25 of 35. The soft tyres now, I mean, they should go to the end. But it's whether or not they're going to have to pace at the end of this race. And with all these cars to go through as well, Lukey, Specialist and Funky, as well as Justin and Tristan here, they're going to be under some serious pressure. Because if they can get through, great. If they can't get through and they get stuck in a bit of a train, it's going to be absolute heartbreak for them. They're going to have to see what can happen with time penalties. Speaking of time penalties, let's have a look at the time penalties right now. We're on lap 25 of 35. It's a 3-second time penalty for Axlock, but he also has a 15-second time penalty awaiting him at the end of this race that was applied to him by the stewards after the incident in Baku. Safety car is in this lap. Lawrence on a 3-second. We have a drive-through penalty for Waitsy, and I believe a 3-second for him as well. Yes, that is correct. He does have a 3-second time penalty awaiting him. Lukey on a 3-second, Specials on a 3-second, and Funky on a 6-second time penalty. And we're about to get back to green flag racing. Red Mat controls the pace. Ramith in second. Axlock currently in third. Justin, right now though, on those soft tyres, needs to pounce like a tiger in this race, I think.
He does indeed, as Red Mat takes us back to green flag racing, and the drivers on the softs have to try and make their move now, because the softs will fade away near the end, so they've got to try and make up some place as soon as possible. Lawrence there getting a corner cutting penalty there, as Lawrence now looks to the outside to try and get past Tristan.
Yeah, around the outside goes Lawrence on Tristan. He's gone too deep though into turn number 1. That's going to compromise him through turn number 2 as Waits unable to get through. Lukey has been let go by his teammate Waitsy. Unfortunately, Special is able to follow Lukey through. Not what the Ferraris wanted. Speaking of the Ferraris, in terms of the constructors, I think as they currently stand, I think the Haas will be crowned constructors champions. I will do some math at the end of the race to confirm whether or not they are the Constructors Champions or not. But right now I think they are technically on course now for the Constructors Championship.
We'll have to see on that one. They could be on their way indeed right now, but the race can still change around. Waitsy not fighting Funky. He knows Funky's on the soft, so he's not going to waste Funky's time at all. Lukey now, next up for him is going to be Waze. Specialist also going to be trying to follow Lukey through as well, and those two have to try and make sure that they don't battle too much and lose themselves some time. Ramad picks up a 3-second penalty, and that's so unfortunate for the driver, currently second place in the race. Lap 27 we go on to, and Specialist still running very closely to the back of Lukey, but these two now getting onto the back of Waze, and Axlock has picked up another 3-second penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Axlock with another penalty applied to his name. That is definitely not going to help him. In terms of this battle right now for 8th, obviously Lukey's got to try and get through and Waste as best as possible. Looking at the task, it looks like that Waste does have a bit of damage on his Williams, which will compromise him a little bit. So Lukey's going to have to be careful about trying to get this overtake done on the Williams. There's a little bit of damage on that car. that is for sure. Kamke in a bit of a sticky situation with Tristan right now. 1.2 off the back of Justin. And what I was going to say, Justin right now in good position to try and take a good podium here. In terms of the second podium position, the final podium position, Kamke, Tristan, and Wace right now are yet to pick up penalties, so it could go any of their ways. However, you got Ramif right now, who has brilliant pace around here. You got Lukey, who's on those soft tyres, trying to carve his way through, and he's closing up to the back of Wace. Wace is now over a second off the back of Lawrence with that bit of wing damage, and we're going to see now Lukey's going to get through. Into P8 goes the Scuderia, and will Specialist try and follow him through down the inside in towards turn number 1. And Specialist down the inside, wheel to wheel they go, as it is Wace on the inside, unable to hold it. A Specialist cruiser on the outside, up in the P9 goes 0 Specialist.
Absolutely great stuff indeed by Specialist, able to also follow Lukey. Do as well, he's got to try, stick with Lukey, and Tristan is a driver stuck behind Kamke Mum, so he's got to try and make the move as soon as possible. There's a driver on the soft compound of tyres. Justin now is going to be getting onto the back of Axelock, and crucially the leading 3 drivers in this train, so he's going to try and fight a way through as soon as possible. All of the other soft runners though in traffic and have to try find a way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Lap 28 of 35. Red Mac currently leads the way. The championship leader extending his lead, and honestly it might be it could very well be potentially just a formality going into the final race of the season if it does stay like this, because we know Axelock's got that 15-second time penalty to be applied to his race result. It's all about what Lukey can do, and Lukey right now down in P8 is not doing what he needs to keep this championship alive. He's losing a huge amount of points on red mat, as we're going to see Lawrence try around the outside of Tristan. Not going to be able to get that done, and what's going to do is just going to allow Lukey to close in, maybe get within that 1 second window, and he's now within it. So Lukey now in this train up to P5, which is essentially a net P3 with the time penalties of Ramif and Axok to be applied. But of course Lukey does have a 3 second himself, which I mean, it's definitely going to be a contention for him coming the end of this race. Lap 29 of 35, Red Mat leading the way, Ramif in second, Axok in third, Justin in fourth, then a 2.3 second gap back to Kamke in fifth. Tristan all over the back of him, potentially looking down the inside. He's gone for the lunge, and it is Tristan now up into P5, and he bunches up the pack as well by making that overtake. But look at that, Kamke on the exit, superior traction. And in fact, no, there's a little bit of lag going on there, as Kamke did not get the superior traction I thought he did. As it's going to be Lawrence potentially having a little look on the inside, backs out a bit wisely. Justin with a 3 second time penalty. Heartbreak for the Mercedes. That essentially might have just cost him a podium here, as Tristan, all he needs to do is stay within 3 seconds and try to not pick up a time penalty, and he's looking at a P2 finisher. The Aston Martin potentially in a fine spot. Kamke right now in P6. This if Kamke can stay within 3 seconds of Ramif here, I mean, as Axlock actually, no, Justin's gone deep. I was about to say Axlock under pressure from Justin. He's gone deep, and yeah, Justin losing out massively. What I was going to say though, Kamke, if Kamke and Red Mac get a double podium here, I think that is definitely Constructors' Championship over and done with.
Absolutely as well then, as here comes Lawrence now trying to get past Lukey, and they're all still battling through. Lukey now in P7, Lawrence in P8, he's just going to back out of it there. Specialist in behind, who's just picked up another penalty there, has the Alpine driver down the straight. We make our way, and what a race we've had so far. Still, it is all to be decided, as they're all breaking the system. Kamke Mum getting onto the back, gaining on Tristan, who is very low on ERS, so he's going to be struggling a bit on the straights.
Yeah, absolutely, and Kamke seeing that flash of red light on the back of Tristan's car. He's going to use a bit of battery, potentially have a little peek around the outside, but doesn't want to commit to it, and I think that was a smart call from Kamke. Wait for the back straight, where you know you have the ERS advantage, you know you have DRS, and you can get that position done swift and clean. But I think now though, the soft tyres potentially beginning to fall away from Justin and potentially Tristan as well, as they are no longer holding pace with the medium runners up ahead. Axlock does have the freshest of the medium tyres in this top 3 battle, but he has a unfortunate situation as Justin's picked up another 3 second time penalty. in quick succession. Justin, up to 6 seconds. Heartbreak for him. I mean, he was on course for a podium, and now he's going to finish well off the podium, and he could potentially drop in behind the likes of Lukey Lawrence just on penalties alone.
Ram it into the lead then. Of course, he's going to lose it when the penalty is applied at the end of the race, unless Red Matt picks one up as well, as Cam Kimbum now gets past Tristan, who's going to be a sitting duck, to Lukey then, who's also going to try and fight his way through down this straight, because Tristan has no ERS. He doesn't have ERT, and Red Matt's picked up a penalty as well, so it's going to be equal at the front of the field.
It has all been equalised at the front of the field, as you're seeing Lukey get the superior traction on Tristan. You're side by side into the first of the chicanes. Down the inside goes Lukey, and he's still side by side with Tristan on the exit. Into the wall goes Lukey. That's damage for the Ferrari. The Ferrari hindered, the Ferrari falling down the order. Ladies and gentlemen, I think now Red Matt is in incredible position, because right now, I'm just going to bring up that graphic in terms of the championship that we was given earlier. I think with a P2 finish, I mean...
Oh, Justin spun around!
Oh no, Justin falling down the order. Lukey, 3-second time penalty applied to him as well.
Oh,
and Justin's out
the wall.
Justin in the wall, front wing completely gone. Axlock, 5 seconds, severe collision with Red Matt. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a virtual safety car. It has just gone absolutely chaotic at the end of this Canadian Grand Prix. And right now, I'm just quickly confirming. I do believe, as it currently stands, Red Matt, as long as he finishes second, which he looks like he may do, I mean, Red Matt, I think, does take Ramif out of the championship hunt altogether. Cam K needs to finish 5th or higher if Red Matt takes a P2 finish, which Cam K right now is in P4, so Cam K will stay within the championship fight as it currently stands. So, I mean, Cam K is still alive in this championship, as is Lukey and Axlock, but they're going to fall quite some points behind. It is now all in Red Matt's hands. The championship is all in his hands. Virtual safety car, 20-second time penalty for Lukey for speeding under the safety car. Virtual safety car on the restart. He's been caught napping. Lukey now is actually going to lose out to Axlock here, because Axlock, with that 15-second time penalty, is going to drop Lukey all the way to the back, and it's going to drop Axlock well down the order in terms of the top 10. Red Matt right now in impeccable position to not only take the Constructors' Championship home here in Canada, but to essentially have one hand on the Drivers' Championship going into Abu Dhabi next week. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the penultimate lap of this race. Is Ramif who leads the way, Axlock in second place, Red Matt currently in third, with Cam K in a solid 4th place. Lawrence in P5, Specialist up in the P6 now after the calamities that have happened to Lukey. You got Tristan in P7, Lukey now down in P8, Waite in P9, Funky P10, Waitey in 11th, and Justin all the way down at the back, maybe attempting that fastest lap point for outside the top 10 here for Justin. But my Omi, I think right now, I mean, this race, we thought last week was going to be crucial in Baku with what happened with Axlock and Lukey, and obviously the championship closing up the way it has. This race, I think, has essentially potentially decided both of the championships, because now everyone essentially needs a miracle in our final race in Abu Dhabi.
Absolutely. As well then, so if make our way onto we're about to make our way onto the final lap. I just had a look at it. So Red Matt's currently got the fastest lap. That could change though. He's currently in third, so Ramit will be eliminated. Cam must finish P8 with fastest lap, or 9 with the fastest lap. Axlock must win to take the lead of the championship.
Yeah, but Axlock is not going to take the lead, because obviously he's got that 15-second time penalty to be applied to him. But right now, it definitely looks like definitely looks like a Ramif potentially taking the race win here, and honestly a thoroughly deserved race win, and honestly great end to the season for Ramif. The one thing that he needs to avoid now is that final warning that may give him a second time penalty on the final lap of the race, because I mean, he's bordering right now with both Redmat and Kamke. So, I mean, it could be a 1-2 for Haas, which will obviously seal the constructors massively. As we are on the final lap of the race, coming for the hairpin for the final time. Ramith needs to navigate the final chicane with no time penalties whatsoever. That is going to be a crucial. Axel trying his best to make sure that he does not lose as many positions as he arguably probably would have if it was a late safety car at the end of this race. But it's going to be Ramith that takes victory ahead of Axel in second place. Redmat will take that on track as Kamke goes up into P2. So actually Kamke does jump ahead of Redmat. Wakes is out of this race at the end as we saw Tristan jump up ahead of, I believe, did Tristan jump ahead of? I think it was Lawrence who he jumped ahead of in the end. Specialist in 11th and Funky in 8th. Lukey in 9th, and Lukey will actually fall down the order. But my Omi, like I'm gonna do some quick maths here. From what I believe in terms of the constructors, I'll just quickly have a look at the point system here. Obviously, that is a 31 point gain for the Scuderia Ferraris, and I think with Loki and Waitsy being 11th and 10th, that's 5 points to them. That's 26 points gained for the Haas team. And going into tonight, as we have the podium celebrations, 26 will take them. The gap needs to be 67 points, I think, and I think they might have just done that. So I think Haas have secured the Constructors Championships. We'll run you through the order one more time before anything else. It is Ramith that takes the victory here in Canada ahead of Kamke in second place, Redmat there in P3, Tristan in P4 with Axlock in P5, Lawrence in P6 with Specialist in P7, Funky in P8 with Waitsy in P9, Lukey there in P10, Justin in P11 with the fastest lap of the race, and renowned finishers were of course Wace, Brenner and Quinn. In terms of the fastest lap inside the top 10, it does go the way of Redmat as well. So I think that's an extra point that the Haas team do get, as there's 2 points for the fastest lap, one inside the top 10 and one outside. But yeah, I think that's 32 points gained for Haas, which of course will take them over the 300 point barrier. And then Ferrari with a P9 and a P10, that gives them 7 points, and 7 points puts them on 35, 235. So yeah, I think mathematically now, yeah, Haas mathematically are the Constructors Champions here, and that has happened in Canada. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, I think we all know right now it is all in Redmat's hands going into the final race of the season. Omi, what a race, what a spectacle we was treated to. In terms of your driver of the day, and the question you would like to ask him, who is your driver of the day?
I'm going to give it to Redmat today. Caused great drive by him throughout the race, keeping up there, and when his championship rivals were making mistakes, he didn't make many and crucial ones, of course. So great stuff there by Redmat. My mic is having a little bit of a nightmare. There we go. But my question for Redmat is going to be how did it feel like in the car watching all of your championship rivals drop like flies, and how do you think the final race is going to go for you in Abu Dhabi?
Incredible question. I look forward to seeing what his response to that will be. My driver of the day is going to go to. I'm going to give my driver of the day to Ramith, as I believe Ramif over the course of the race has been was incredibly quick, and the question I will put to Ramif in the end, obviously, Ramif, great drive and a very well-deserved victory here tonight. Makes it back-to-back wins after the performance in Baku. Of course, ending the season strong is always key going into the next game cycle. But looking at the championship right now, obviously you are out of it. But what are your aims regarding your finishing position in the championship? Are you now potentially looking at putting the pressure on Axlock and Kamke as well as Luki to potentially maybe snag a top 3 finish in the Drivers' Championship? And that's going to be my question to Ramif, of course. And with the with that, it does bring an end to the action here in Canada. Of course, next week we have the season finale in Abu Dhabi. We head to Yas Marina for the season finale, round number 12 sprint race with the feature race as well. So we're going to have a bit more action in Abu Dhabi to look forward to, and of course it is something that we will absolutely love to enjoy. Of course, massive thank you to our sponsors at Next Level Racing, to of course Aztec as well as Pure Sim Gear, and of course to our partners at Vespertwin, of course ERT Elite Racing Team, and of course Sim Grid. In terms of the constructors, I believe, I feel like my math is right by here with Haas being the constructors champions. We will have to wait, obviously, just to see if there's any like post-stewards reports or anything that may change things, and obviously my math might be off, and we never know. It was a rough calculation. I think the gap is around 70 points, and I think there's 60 points available now. But potentially, we've crowned the constructors champions. In terms of the drivers, though, Omi, all in Red Matt's hands going into the season finale in Abu Dhabi next week.
It absolutely is, but it is one hub. Anything can happen, and it definitely will next week as well. So my final words for all of you are: make sure you do join us for that, and the weather around Abu Dhabi is going to be a little bit interesting and a bit of a change to what you're used to. So that gives you also another reason for us to join us as we crown a champion.
Absolutely, but until then, guys, I have been Michael Edwards, he has been Omicoms, and we'll catch you next week for the season finale in Abu Dhabi, the championship decider, and we'll see you at the strong time of 7 PM on the YouTube channel. Until then, guys, it's goodbye from the PRS. Goodbye.